What is up, listeners? Before we get into today's episode, quick reminder, 2017, we got some massive goals for the Fit Pro podcast. So if you listen to the Fit Pro podcast regularly, you'll know this. If you are a new listener, one of the goals is 50 reviews on iTunes. Only 50, it's not a hell of a lot. But if you haven't already, make sure you do. When you're listening to the podcast on your phone, if you got an iPhone, just click the picture within the app of the album art for the podcast, and it will flip over and there'll be a star rating system. Just rate us by stars. If you really, really like the show, leave some comments, some constructive criticism, or just whatever you like about the show. I also make it really easy on the website. In the show notes, there will always be a link to review the show if you're listening to it anywhere else. Make sure you do, guys, because every review matters and it lets me know that you are enjoying the show. Now, let's get into the show. Episode 66 of the Fit Pro podcast. Welcome back to the Fit Pro podcast. I'm your host, Marvin Fayes, and today we got a very special guest all the way from Ireland, Brian Roache. He's the director of Legacy Performance in Ireland. He's a strength and conditioning coach, a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a fitness writer, an entrepreneur, a sports broadcaster, a sports injury therapist, and on top of all of that, he's obviously a workaholic. Brian, take a moment, let the listeners know who you are personally, and then we'll get into it.
Well, Marvin, very nice to be on your show. I follow your podcast a lot, and it's quite an honour to hook up with a guy like yourself. I suppose where I'm coming from is that I'm born and bred in Ireland, sports fanatic, always loved watching sports, intrigued by the nature of how sports people's lives begin and how they develop their careers over time. And I was also, a keen reader of anything to do with strength, fat loss, gyms. That whole scene was very intriguing to me from a very young age. I think there was a hunger inside me to improve as a footballer as well. And when I used to play badminton a lot, what more could I push out of my body? And then I always got a great kick out of helping people. If I could do a favor for someone, if I could, show someone something I did that maybe it could help them. So from an early age, I always, I love, the power of helping people. But it took me a while before I got into a situation where I could, I suppose, use that to my advantage and use that to put that to good use, that skill, So, as I said before, I'm based in Ireland. I own my own gym. I work a lot of bloody hours a week. Anyone that owns a gym, they're lying if they tell you they don't work that many hours. Yeah. You could work anywhere from 60 to 70, 80 hours a week, and it is tough work. But at the end of the day, when a client comes up to you and thanks you for, helping them lose 2 stone weight, or a young kid comes into me at 22 years of age, tells me he played a really good game at the weekend, and some of that is down to you, well then that's the kick. That's all you need sometimes to keep you going.
Nothing more rewarding than that, for sure.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, financially to be rewarded is crucial, especially when I've got a young family. I got a little boy, he's 2.5. I got an amazing wife, and we have a fine house that like a lot of people has to be paid back. Yeah. Everyone has a mortgage. So financially, let's be fucking honest here. You got to make money to support your family. But, on the other side of it, that gratitude and that respect you can get off people when you help them, that is a serious reward in this business. And sometimes, you have to have a little bit of both to have a balance, Yeah,
and
so that's crucial.
Totally understand that. But Brian, you haven't obviously always done this. What were you doing before you decided to start your own thing?
Basically, when I did my leaving cert, which was the end of secondary school here, I remember a day actually that I said to my father, there was a newspaper on the table, and I said to my father, Dad, I'd love to do this gym instructor course, sir. Just before I finished my leaving cert, I think. Mm-hmm. And he basically said to me, no, that's not a proper job, man. You need to go to fucking college and you need to get a job. And And I like a lot of things, I agreed with my dad. And I said, yeah, Dad, no problem. So I did a couple of years and I became a civil engineer technician. I got a very good job then, and I ended up doing a lot of civil engineering work in office and out on building sites, managing people, project directing. And I loved it for about 7 years, and I absolutely loved it. Things changed though. This country hit a very bad recession. At about the signs were coming late 2007, 2008, and a lot of jobs, people were losing their jobs left, right, and centre. And that's when I started looking at, where do I want to go? What is my passion? I had friends of mine in Perth, in Australia, who were telling me, "Come here, we have jobs here, great money."
Not anymore.
Not anymore. A lot of people are coming back.
Yeah.
And so basically, I decided to, do what my heart is telling me. Do what you've always wanted to do, and damn it, if it doesn't work out, at least you can always pack your bags and hit the road. And that's what I did. I threw my redundancy money back into college and education, and I went straight back into college. And I did my fitness and health courses. I did my sports injury courses. I did some strength and conditioning courses. And then, the idea of owning my own business came to fruition.
And what was the transition like between working in a somewhat office job into then working in a gym, owning a gym?
Oh, I mean, until you actually own a business, you are so in the dark. I mean, when you open a gym, a lot of people in the fitness industry think, yeah, man, I'll get this fine place. I'll have one-to-ones going on, and I'll have group training, and I'll pack them in, and all I need is 50 clients, and I'm away with it. And like, sure, dumbbells and barbells, I can get them secondhand, and just get the stuff and get going. What they forget about is, especially in Ireland, we have a notorious country here, so we are, for charging you hidden taxes and hidden VATs and hidden stuff that just takes money off you left, right, and centre. I mean, for instance, when you go to set up business here, you have to factor in insurances, rents, costs for playing music, all these, if you employ someone, every tax rate that you can imagine that you have to pay on top of their wage. There is so much hidden taxes in Ireland, it's incredible. And that's where people fall down, is that they don't literally sit down, put out an Excel sheet there and say, okay, how much will it cost to run this business a week? Do your costings and then see how much you've left over at the end of the week. So my advice for anyone setting up a business is to, go to someone that has set up a business, worked in a gym business, and ask them, for their advice on how to actually, I suppose, financially set your your goals and your costings before you even enter the building.
100%. I think you should dot your T's and cross your I's. You really need to. You need to have. I mean, like you said, if you haven't done it before, you really don't know. Get around a mentor, someone who has done it, and it's
absolutely
sort of like shining a light in the dark for you. But yeah,
I agree.
That is, I would agree with that as well. But is this? Well, we were talking about this before, so I know. But so this is your first PT business, but it's more a reincarnation of what it used to be. Yeah.
Yes. I suppose back in 2009, when I opened the doors here, we called it Total Fitness Solutions. And the concept was that through circumstances that I couldn't really control in some regards, we went down the line of trying to have a more, I suppose, a commercial gym with a small. We tried to marry the commercial gym with the training type gym, and I found out very quickly that I hated the fact that people were just coming in, paying a membership, and going in and doing their own thing, and they weren't paying me enough, or I couldn't give them the time to actually coach them and help them get the main results that I knew they needed. Because in a commercial gym, it's about a race to the bottom. who can offer the cheapest memberships in town, in your city, and to pack the numbers in. It's a pure numbers game. You know, you need 1,000 people and you could charge maybe €249 for the year, and that's how you keep your overheads going. So at that rate, you can't see these people, you can't help them, because it's about, you need a certain amount of numbers coming in per day. And the coaching side of it was totally gone. There was no, my heart was not in it. I didn't like that concept of a business model, you know?
Yeah, man.
So, go on.
Yeah, no, go on.
So basically, I decided, I was at home one evening and I had done about maybe 4 or 5 years of this type of work. And I was actually going, you know, this is not for me. I just, this is not, this is not what I want to do for the next 10 years. I've always loved coaching teams. I've always loved coaching people. So I sat down one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wrote down the pros and the cons of what I want to do for the next 10 years. And what shone a light for me was the fact that coaching was it was at the very top. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually help anyone that came through my door. I wanted them to get the Brian Roache experience, or my team, instead of just coming into my building and using my facilities or using my equipment. So that the next day I come into work and I basically told the team I had, that's it, we are changing direction. and that's it. And they looked at me like I had lost the plot. And and it's, you know, and that was the moment of clarity that I needed to just say, fuck it, enough is enough. Stop worrying what people think or what they're going to think. Just do what you want to do. Because I always believe, you know, if you're constantly worrying what people think, you will always be their prisoner.
Yeah,
you know, so
just
you know, write down. Yeah, I read that before, and I've said that to so many people. You know, just in case you're fucking thinking I'm taking a quotation there, like that is not mine, dude, not mine.
You're a brilliant man, Brian. But Brian,
so, yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on, man. That model. So you've changed from those sort of key turn businesses where people come in and just use your equipment, and you've moved now to a coaching, more of a coaching business. Was that a big change for your staff? Because you've got staff members as well, yeah?
Yeah, I was very lucky that the team that I have, I knew deep down that they were really into coaching. Mm-hmm. But with the setup that we had, they were under pressure too to get numbers in. But I knew they weren't commercial gym. They weren't commercial gym instructors.
Yes.
I knew Jason was our physio here, Damien Burke, who was one of my, you know, a serious mentor for me in terms of learning about this industry. He owned his own gym before. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Jason would have worked for him in a strength gym before, and he came to me with a lot of qualifications, kind of straight out of college. So I knew that, you know, she would have learned an awful lot from watching me, and everything she learned would have been through my beliefs along with her own, but she wouldn't have been, how to say, poisoned by the commercial, you know, gym, you know, direction. So for my team, it was easy enough transition. I think the worry for them was, does this guy know what he's doing? Will we end up being, you know, will people fall out with us, the fact that we're closing down their favorite gym to an extent? Mm-hmm. And will this business model work? Because they weren't sure. I knew deep down, I had a vision of what I could do. And there's one of the strengths that I've always had is, whether it was building my house or maybe it's the civil engineering side of me, I could always picture something. I could always picture a vision, whether it was, you know, where, you know, what my house is going to end up like the layout of a gym, the implementation of something, of a goal. I could always see the end result in a way. Now, sometimes I didn't know how to get there. I had to go on the fly, but I had a good vision. So I knew where I wanted to be. The problem was, I'd have to learn an awful lot to actually figure out, you know, how to get from A to B. And I was lucky enough to get a fantastic mentor as well in Travis Jones in Australia.
Oh, I know Travis.
Yeah, Travis, yeah. Travis and Liv Jones there, they really, really, really helped me, you know, learn this business and develop the business towards where I want to go. And also, I think I can learn an awful lot as a human being off them, the way they change people's lives.
Yeah.
So I do look up to, that through their ethos as well as my own. I kind of implemented that into my team, and that's how the transition took place.
That's crazy, and I've not dealt with Travis personally, but I do know of him. He's the owner of those RBT gyms, yeah.
Yes.
And there's a few opening up in Perth now, but I have a lot of friends that only say good things about him in any of the workshops they've done. They've got amazing value from. So if anybody's looking for a mentor in the PT game, especially in terms of opening up gyms, and I know his story a little bit. He basically started from nothing, correct? He was working at Fitness First or something.
Oh yeah, he was. I far from me to tell his life story in case I make mistakes to the man, but I don't want to disservice the man. But basically, he was working gyms, didn't like what he was doing, just set up his own business, slept in his own business, and then just started, helping to change people's lives slowly but slowly. And then he has I think he has the as we say in Ireland, he has the balls to do what he wants to do and to speak what he wants to speak, and his main thing is to help as many people as he can. So if we all took a little pinch out of his, drive, energy and enthusiasm for this game, there'd be a lot of more people in the fitness industry more concerned about their own business than worrying about chopping the legs or undermining other fitness pros, which is a big problem we have in this industry,
Absolutely. I mean, nobody really looks forward. They're always looking at who else is doing what they're doing and can they do it better than they are doing it. Just do you, figure out what your niche is, and just do it. At the end...
Be you. Be you. Like, I mean, people, when I shoot videos or do Facebook Lives or anything like that, I write 3 emails a week, or, when I do a blog, or even when I'm talking here to you, I just sit back here and I just talk the way I am. Because at the end of the day, if I look back in my life and see that I was trying to do what other people want me to do, this is my canvas that I'm painting. I'm not going to let any other fucker paint my canvas in my life. The picture that I want to do is and especially I think I've really grown that since I've had my, since myself and wife and my baby, his son Noah. I see that little kid every day, and I don't want him to grow up looking at his dad following the herd. I want him to see me as the stubborn guy that went his own path, And that's the way I believe everybody should want to live. But obviously there's people that need to stay, like they need that security blanket. But Brian, you're obviously not one of those people, and it shows in what you've accomplished. Because all in all, how many years would you say you've been working on this dream of yours? In the fitness industry, is it?
Yes.
Well, I suppose I would have done an awful lot of, when I was in civil engineering, I used to do a bit of work for Damien here in his gym, and little part-time work here and there, helping him out. And then I was doing, with my own football club, I was doing little bits and pieces in an underage coaching capacity, and doing some, I suppose we call it underage strength development. And then, so I'd have been doing that up to about, 20, I suppose about 28. And then from then on, it was flat out. So from 28 until I'm 35 now, that would have been, I've been, full hog, full into it, So I suppose, was I born into it? I didn't come out of school and go, yeah, that's it, I want to be a fitness instructor. And at 21 years of age, I'm going to have 1,000 people online, and I'm going to have a set of abs in me, and I'm going to do some, some bodybuilding modeling, because my metabolism is so low that I could eat, 10 packs of rice a day and 2 packs of chocolate biscuits, and I wouldn't put on weight. I was actually, I was one of these people. When I was 17 years of age, I walked into a gym, and I got a gym program done for me. I went back the next day, and I walked into the gym. I explained who I was. They said, "Oh, welcome, and your gym program is over there." I took up this piece of paper. I looked at it. I could not make it out. I felt small, intimidated. Didn't know what I was doing. I quietly went on a treadmill, tried to figure out what I was doing. No idea. Put the card back into the dressing rooms, walked away. Didn't go near a gym for about 6 months after that. I felt overwhelmed. unhelped. And I think that's that stuck me a long time in the fact of I never wanted someone to walk into my gym ever and be overwhelmed or, totally out of their depth. I want them to be made comfortable,
Yeah, start off on the right foot. A lot of people go into a gym and it's intimidating. It's intimidating, especially if you go into a gym where there's people that look better than you or are doing a lot more than you can do at that point in time. But what I tell most people is you got to start somewhere, and you may as well start with that firm foundation. Find a personal trainer, a coach that knows what they're talking about. Just swallow your pride for a second and learn how to do the movements or whatever you want to do correctly so that you can then build upon that in the future. Because I feel there's a lot of bro science out there. There's a lot of other shit out there. There's a lot of friends that that have the right thing in their mind but don't know how to teach it, and they fuck people up. People just get... I see it every day. You walk into I go to a gym, in a commercial gym, and you see it every day. It's like, you are in no position to be training your friend on how to do the movement you're doing. You don't know how to do a deadlift yourself. Why are you teaching deadlifts? Like, that's what I get passionate about, is people not starting off correctly, because then they go and they slander the industry. Oh, it's shit, this, and PTs are crap, and I just hurt myself when I go to the gym. No, you hurt yourself when you go to the gym because you're full of shit and you don't want to listen to the correct person. But anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take pieces of what you said there, and you could slap that up on Facebook, and a lot of people would agree with you, and a lot of people, when they say, okay, I need to lose weight, I need to do this, one of the first things they think of is price. How much is that? And they might say, it's X amount. They go, oh, that's too dear. But yet these people will probably drink about maybe 2 bottles of wine a week. They will have at least 5 or 6 coffees out a week. They will definitely buy their lunch instead of prepping it. And then at the weekends, then, they make out they've no time, but then at the weekends they don't do they're not working, they don't have a lot to do. Now, there is people that do shift work, and there is people out there that are tight for money. My God, I know exactly how that is. Yep. But price is not the first thing you should be looking at. You should look at your situation and go, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z, and then start to put a planning process, to work out who is the best coach around. What have people that have gone to that person? What's their opinion of the service and the coaching and the individual attention and the group support and the accountability? What's the feedback coming from the normal person that went to them? And you start from there, and you build up a little portfolio. You do a little private recon work on this coach. And then that's when you come to the point, okay, if I'm going to invest my hard-earned money in this guy, there's a good 90% chance that I'm not going to be left taught badly. I'm not going to be left hurt. I'm not going to be left alone. I'm not going to be left with these promises that are unfulfilled, and that the goal setting that I actually will implement will be, there will be a foundation there for you to grow and to achieve your goals, So, getting the proper coaching and without getting hurt or getting screwed, that's vital to bring a little bit of confidence back into yourself and also into the fitness industry. Because you're right, there's a lot of cowboys out there that are, with Instagram and Snapchat, they are literally, they're practically telling the client what they want them to do, instead of just shut the fuck up and listen to what the client actually wants. Yeah. Don't show them a deadlift if they don't, they've got to enjoy it. I have a lot of personal training one-to-one clients here, and part of the reason why I do get a lot of them is we do have such crack, which is basically, if you don't know what crack is, it's fun in Ireland. We do have a great laugh here in the training sessions, just me being me, talking about everything and then getting down to business as well, and doing the work. But every time I think one of the best satisfactions, they turn around to me and go, God, that 45 minutes, that hour flew. Where did it go to? Not only did they have a good time, they didn't get beasted, they didn't get injured, they didn't feel like they're being challenged by not being able to do something. Like, who does not like, there's not many people out there that likes doing something and being in front of someone not being able to do it.
Yes.
It's an embarrassment. It's like, you know, okay, don't worry about that. If you can't do that, we'll do this instead. Oh, bummer. Well, isn't that fantastic confidence you've just given me? You know, you can't read that Irish Times. We're going to give you the Sun where there's more pictures. You know, so, you know, program your training towards the type of person that you have, and you know, make them feel that, you know, you're not devaluing them or you're making them feel small or you're going to hurt them. That they're actually going to progress all the time and they're getting a 1% better every training session. That they feel that they're going forward, you know. Yeah. And I think that's in the personal training industry and in the coaching industry. I think if every fit pro sat down in a room and thrashed it out, we'd probably stop a lot of bitching, and they would probably come to a kind of a consortium agreement where I think this is the template that we should work forwards from. Don't be worrying about left, right, centre what we're all doing. Let's all do this, and let's all tell all our clients that X, Y, and Z is a good coach, a nice guy. Even if you don't like the person, just don't be bitching about them. Yes. You know?
We need a Fit Pro union. You need an international union and get all the leaders in one room on a Skype call. Tell them, right, this is what we're gonna do. But
that is one of the things, though. Just to like, there is no. The problem with the fitness industry is that there is no clear there's no clear set of guidelines. It's a very open, you know, from the training, what type of training you do, to the type of nutrition, to, you know, there is no set. No one's right. Everyone is there's wrongs and rights, but everyone is always knocking the other person. And if someone speaks a little bit of truth, there's always someone there to knock them down. That's why, as I said to you before, if you do worry what people think, well, then you're in a shitload of trouble. You know.
And that is episode 66 of the Fit Pro podcast done. Part 1 of our interview with Brian Roache. If you are brand new to the channel, just to let you know, I alternate between half of the interview, and then the next episode will be some insights, and then the episode after that will be the part 2. So generally speaking, I like to keep the episodes within 30 minutes if I can, and split it over 2, because most of our interviews go for an hour. Like I said at the beginning, if you are an iPhone and you're brand new listener to the show, welcome. Thank you for listening. Make sure you pause the podcast or just finish it. Then click on the album art for the show, and it should flip around and you should be able to leave a review there. If you're on the website or anywhere else, I will leave links in the show notes so that you can then leave a review as well. On iTunes, you have to have an Apple account though. All right. One other bit of housekeeping. If you haven't heard already and you're brand new, we work very closely with Alpha State Apparel here in Australia, in Perth specifically. They recently launched some new tank tops, very affordable, and then we give a 20% discount when you use the code FitProPodcast on their website, which makes it super affordable, guy. Why go to your local store, Cotton On here anyway in Perth, and buy a $15 shirt from somebody you don't even know, when you can buy a $15 shirt from somebody and support local businesses? That's what we're about. Support the local businesses. Hit up alphastateapparel.com.au, use the code FitProPodcast and get 20% off. This is the end of the show, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.